Hello there, welcome to another episode of the Allotment Dram. This is a series of short videos where we sit and talk about different whiskies in the surroundings of our North London allotment. And you join me here today. It's the start of December, it's really starting to get chilly now, 6 or 7 degrees sort of at the most, but still quite a nice day, just a little bit chilly. But while that's all very interesting, I'm sure you didn't tune in to hear about that. So what is the Allotment Dram today? Well, it's a brand new whiskey again. Something which was launched literally last week, and we're very fortunate to have got a sample and actually went to the launch event as well. So what is it? It's the Loch Lomond Distillery Edition, 9 years old. And what is this? Well, basically it's the first in a series from Loch Lomond called Remarkable Makers, and this is seeing them collaborate with different sort of artisan craftsmen and craftspeople to create a set of whiskies. They're all going to be single casks selected by the sort of master blender Michael Henry, and all going to be linked together with what the artisan producer they're collaborating with is producing as well. So in this case, Loch Lomond have teamed up with a London-based artisan bakery called Bread Ahead, and this whiskey here uses Chardonnay wine yeast. So this release has really been inspired by that yeast, which is obviously, yeast is a common thing between whiskey making and bread making. You need it to make both. So Bread Ahead have equally made a limited edition range of loaves, which you can buy also, and they've used the champagne wine yeast as well. But so a very interesting concept, and it'll be interesting to see how that sort of develops with time, and what other things are kind of in the pipeline for this series. So very sort of nice evening was had at Bread Ahead down in Borough Market in London, and made some bread, tasted some nice whiskies. So we're lucky sometimes. But what can I tell you about this? What's actually in the bottle here? The Loch Lomond Distillery Edition, 9 years old. Well, it was actually distilled in 2010, and as I say, it's single. They're all going to be single casks. So this one's been selected by Michael Henry. This one is an ex-bourbon cask, and this has yielded just 265 bottles at the natural cask strength of 57.1%. So pretty punchy, and it's about £65 in selected retailers around the world. Although if you think there's only 265 bottles, they're going to be spread pretty thin around the world. So I would say, if you like the sound of it, search it out pretty rapidly. I would say. But you might think, well, if it's distilled in 2010 and it's 9 years old, why is it new now? Well, actually this was bottled, and the whole series was planned to kick off literally when the first COVID pandemic lockdown hit. So it was delayed and then delayed and then delayed, and now it's finally come out. So this has been sat in the bottle for the last sort of couple of years or so, waiting to be sort of released. We've got quite a lot of air activity here. Helicopter going over, just had a plane going over as well, so apologies for that. This is the beauty of sitting here at the allotment all around the year. You never quite know what's going to happen, who's going to walk past, or what wildlife will interrupt, or what sort of air traffic or other incidents we might get. But anyway, I digress. So before we get on to tasting, and they were very kind to give us just what was left in the bottle to do this video and do a review on the blog as well, which is now live. So that's why we haven't like hoofed our way through like the whole bottle in the last week, but that's why. So thank you to the guys who gave us that. But I'll just tell you quickly a little bit about Loch Lomond. It's in the Highlands, close to the small town of Alexandria, which is right next to Loch Lomond, unsurprisingly. and it was actually established in 1965. And it's quite an unusual place because they have two types of pot still. So they have one with the traditional like swan neck, so the sort of neck and then the arm comes down like this, and they also have like a straight neck as well, so it looks a bit more like a column still but with a pot on the bottom. And through these they actually make a whole series of different spirits which they release under the Loch Lomond name and also under different names as well. So they do the classic unpeated one, they do a peated one, both single malts, but they also do single grain, and they also do, really quirky, like a peated single grain. So, you know, currently owned by the Loch Lomond Group, and they also own Glen Scotia in Campbelltown as well. So I think that's probably enough chatting that we should get on and taste this. So let's pop this open. So obviously 57.1%, and I'm conscious that it is a little bit cold today, so we might need to sort of warm this up a little bit. But let's have a see. You see very pale colour, very pale. It's a sort of lemon yellow there. Very fresh, very fragrant though. Some lovely vanilla, bit of like white chocolate, honey, and like green apple, slightly unripe sort of apricot. And then this sort of quite fresh sort of fruitiness that's maybe coming from the yeast underneath. A bit of green apple and pear as well. Very nice. Just a pinch of like white pepper. I mean, that could probably be the heat as well, but let's have a little taste. And sometimes a whiskey just makes you smile. And despite its strength, yeah, 57.1. That's like zingy, zesty. It's got that vanilla, it's got that white chocolate that we were talking about, and those green fruits. There's a lovely, zesty, lemony sort of quality. Really, really nice, you know, that freshly sort of zested lemon. Then maybe a bit of like lemon curd or something like that underneath as well. But very, very nice. And then like a hint of sort of chocolate, milk chocolate or cocoa, something like that. But let's have another taste. Green, fresh fruitiness really coming through now. There's a little blob of apricot jam, or like an apricot like Danish pastry or something like that as well. But it's got a, although it's quite zesty and quite fresh, there's something quite yeasty, almost, I mean, I hasten to say it, but almost quite bready about it. And yeah, it gives a slightly sort of creamy, earthy, yeasty sort of feel. Yeah, really, really interesting. And you know, we do love at Whiskey for Everyone, we do love, you know, a good bourbon cask matured whiskey. I mean, they're quite hard to beat. I know people love, you know, big sherried whiskies or very smoky whiskies, but you know, this is the type of whiskey that, you know, we would drink on a day-to-day basis, and the style that got us interested in whiskey. So, you know, really, really good, very promising, and you know, really can't wait to see what, you know, the rest of the series brings in the Loch Lomond Distillery Editions in this remarkable makers series. So I think without further ado, we'll probably leave you to get on and do what you were doing before you found this video, and thanks for watching, and we hope to see you again soon for another Allotment Dram. Cheers.